Hello, 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 people. Okay. Will this work? Worked last time. It's weird to see it live. I have it up here on my iPad. I guess I can just lean back. Ah! Aha! Kismet. Okay. Cool. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. We'll see if this works. You know, yesterday was probably a special case because it was Labor Day, so I probably got a bigger bump because of that. We'll go for like an hour, and then it's very weird because I can see it 3 times happening. You know, in my real life when I do it, on here on my iPad right here, and then on the phone, and that is theoretically I could get my thing, but what have you. Yay! It works. Okay. Post. Hope everybody is. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm nervous. Okay, I'm gonna turn it up. I'm gonna turn up the volume. You're gonna hear 2 of me, but I just want to see how I sound. Okay. Hey, MMT. I'm doing good. Just chilling, relaxing, being all cool. How's it going with you today? Or tonight, I guess. Am I audible? Is the sound good? I can improve it. I would just have to go grab something, but is this okay? Just figured, you know, since I'm doing these on the phone at the moment, I realized, oh, I don't got to do them at my like computer desk. I can just do them here in my big comfy chair. Okay, good. Okay. Then I don't have to worry. Lovely. So what's going on tonight for everybody? Uh, me, yeah, we just we just chill. We hang out, we chat, we talk. Usually it ends up being about like movies or comic books, but doesn't have to be. It's more about just you know. Hello. Um, what time is it there for you right now? I'm curious. Ooh, that is a good question. That is very good. Uh, like individual like story or general character. Interesting. It is currently about two for me. It's 154 for me. Um, hmm. Okay. I mean, I feel compelled to say Watchmen just because, you know, that's like kind of the classic, really good comic. Um, uh, yeah, I don't know. That feels such like a day one answer though. I want a better one. Um, oh, okay. Either Spider Man or Batman. Although I really like Hawkeye. He's become a close number three for me at the moment. Hawkeye. Wait, I always like compress the syllables down. Um, yeah. Underrated characters. Uh, Squirrel Girl. I like. I guess she's more known now, but I really liked the comic that they did with her. Uh, let's see, who do I have here? Uh, Hellboy. Hellboy is another one. I like Hellboy a lot. I've read a lot of Hellboy in my time. Uh, yeah, yeah, I like Hawkeye. There's a very good. There was a really one of my favorite runs in a comic is Matt Fraction's Hawkeye. I think that's just a really amazing bit of writing. So that Hawkeye always enters my favorites now because of that. Have you ever read? Oh, did I just lose everybody because I said I like Matt? Okay, whatever. Um, there's a comic book series by Kurt Busiek called. If you want like really good like superhero storytelling, look up a comic book series called Astro City. That might be one of my favorite comics of all time. It is. It's essentially its own like separate generation. It's a really like it's kind of like an epic almost a superhero epic because it jumps back and forward in time and follows different generations of superheroes, um, different superheroes and like the people who work with superheroes and the civilians who are affected by everyday superheroes. It's a really like cool series of books, and we learn a lot of like we see the world of superheroes from really a lot of different angles. Like sometimes we follow the villains, sometimes we follow the like just normal everyday guys. No, it's its own thing. It's its own thing. This is it's an independent series. Kurt Busiek is a very famous writer in comics. Um, Probably his most famous like mainstream thing he did was he created the Thunderbolts, and the Thunderbolts is also another one of my favorites. But like the original incarnation of the Thunderbolts that you just saw in theaters. Um, but yeah, it's kind of like a mix between Marvel and DC. Um, he also did, but if you want like something a little bit more like Marvel, he also wrote the Marvels, which is kind of like essentially a dry run for what he'd do in Astro City, and it does the same thing in that it tells. Oh, Astro City. Astro City. I will give you. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you a link. I'm going to give you a link to it. A link to the pic. I'll make sure to send you a link. But it's a very unique. It's a very interesting like, and it's cool because it's like the first real arc is about the Batman equivalent, who is Twist is. This is the comic I'm talking about. Who Twist is a religious vampire, and it's yeah. So it's an interesting book. But if you like really strong, well written comics, try that. And it's one of those things where it's like you don't even. Good. Yes, I'm preaching the word of Astro City. I'm going to get that mainstream by hook or by crook. What about you? Who are some of your favorites? Both good picks. Yeah, Daredevil would definitely be one of my top picks. Um, yeah, Daredevil comics I think were some of the first like real like comics I got into. I have somewhere around here like the omnibus. Ah, why can't I say words? Omnibus of Frank Miller's Daredevil comics, and I was very into those. I was very into the Frank Miller Daredevil stuff as a teenager. It is. It is surprising. It is quite good. I was quite pleasantly surprised by it. Um, I haven't like uh, caught up totally on some. You think? I was thinking about this. Um, I'd like to see Daredevil in a Spider-Man movie because Daredevil is one of Spider-Man's like closest allies usually and stuff. I mean, okay, so um, this is a thing that isn't really talked about in comics, like outside of comics for some reason, which is weird. But in reality, like, arguably Spider-Man's best friend in like the superhero community is actually Johnny Storm. But yeah, yeah, I like that. I like the Kingsman. I thought those were fun. I haven't read the comics, but I thought those were fun movies. Anyway, I've recently I've made a quite dramatic shift in my life in that I went from a Garth Ennis hater to like I kept reading his books and I'm like, oh, I think I actually kind of like Garth Ennis now. So that's been the most controversial thing I've said to a lot of people in my life is that I kind of have changed sides on my opinion on Ennis. I've grown to like him a lot more as of late. Do you know who Garth Ennis is? Yes, it is. He is. He is. There was a really great little miniseries that they did. Johnny, miniseries Spider-Man crossover Johnny and Spider-Man. Well, because it makes sense. Because if like comics flow the way they naturally would, if like time flowed the way they naturally would, Johnny and Peter would be about the same age. Anyways, I find it so weird. I haven't watched the new Spider-Man animated show. I can't quite get over the animation style. I've seen it in action, and it looks a little bit better than than the initial trailers. But I can't get like Nico from the Runaways is now Peter Parker's best friend. I'm like, that feels weird. Cause yeah, I know, but I always try and at least give it try and watch a few episodes of the animated shows just to see what it's like. But I find it so weird because it's like Nico is a character that premiered in the Runaways in like the early 2000s, and now they're like teenagers together. It's kind of, I don't know, it throws me off a little bit because I was like, but that feels weird to me. That just feels weird. What are we doing? Yeah. You wonder why. I always wonder why. Like, the best Spider Man, this is definitely nostalgia talking, so. Like. But I still think the best Spider Man animated show was. Well, Spectacular Spider Man never had the chance to reach its full potential, but. Yeah, it's either Spectacular. The thing with Spectacular is it never had the chance to reach its full potential, I'd argue. It was getting there. The guy who did that I like a lot. It's Greg Weisman, right? Who's did you ever see Gargoyles? Did you ever see the TV show the animated show Gargoyles? That's that's one of those. Yeah, same guy who did Spectacular. Gargoyles animated. Yeah, I watched that as an adult. By the way, I watched it a little bit as an adult. Holds up, Greg Weisman holds up pretty well. Yeah, Greg Weisman, who created Gargoyles, show ran Spectacular Spider-Man, and then went on to run Young Justice. So, yeah. So it's like Spectacular Spider-Man probably would have been the best if it had been allowed to like be a thing. And it really wasn't. It was a whole thing. It got essentially screwed over, but by the Disney buyout, essentially. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because Wiseman is a really good writer. Um, yeah. Um, what was I saying? But yeah, I like the '90s. I don't know, man. I feel like Spider-Man makes such sense for like an animated show. Well, more in broadly, I feel like Spider-Man would do really well as a TV show, but they just they never seem to they really can't pull the trigger on that idea. Like, well, it's a more full adaptation. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's like I think Spectacular Spider-Man probably could have been the best if it like. Anyways, just I am 33. I am a 33-year-old man, and I have really dramatic opinions about cartoons. Why? What about you? Don't say it if you're nice. Practically the same age group. Yeah. Woo. Yeah, millennials, the best generation. Yeah. Certainly better than like Ultimate Spider-Man or um, God. There's been a few clunkers, really. I don't know. Ultimate Spider-Man. What was that? Have you noticed? This is. I'm not one of these people who's like Disney, but one thing that has bothered me about the Disney era with like Spider-Man is that they seem uncomfortable letting Spider-Man be just a superhero on his own. Like, have you noticed? This is something I've been noticing a lot. Is like they're constantly now trying to give like Peter like a support network and a mentor and all that stuff. And like kind of the appeal of the original Spider-Man comics was it was just kind of Peter on his own doing stuff. Like that was kind of the thing is because like Stanley very much disliked uh, like Stanley very much disliked like sidekicks and stuff and thought kids would enjoy it more if one of them got to be the hero. I if you watch like the latest movies and TV shows, yeah, but this is a general thing that they seem to do because like okay, like Ultimate Spider-Man did the cartoon did this. It's the first time I really noticed them start to do that, and they've done that with almost every Spider-Man adaptation since then. Is that Peter doesn't really get to be his own superhero anymore? Um, and like the comics are constantly adding stuff in like that. It's I don't know. There seems to be like some awkwardness. They seem to have a little bit of awkwardness with it. I don't know. You no, notice it when they adapt stuff. They'll always give him like an adult mentor now, and it's like, what kind of the fun was? See, Stanley had not to. You know this probably, but Stanley had this idea that it's like it's more fun. Like that. Stanley hated the character Robin. If you don't know, uh, that's an interesting thing. He always disliked that character. He thought he thought he just disliked superheroes having teenage sidekicks. He always thought that was really boring. So he never really did that. Because, like, okay, like the one character in Marvel that did have one was Captain America, but he wasn't really in charge of that. That was, well, yeah. Wasn't really, this gets into a little complicated thing. Yeah, it is funny that it's, that a lot of, well, I think the thing is they've never totally nailed Peter in high school. Even though, like, Peter is most famous for being the high school character. Yeah, no, Stanley hates Robin. He talked about that in numerous interviews. He always hated, like, the character. I don't know if he particularly hates Robin, but he hates that version. He hates that idea, the teenage sidekick thing. He always thought that was really dumb. But, what was I saying? Yeah, so... Yeah, I feel like they never truly nailed it, like the Peter stuff, like because here's the thing, it's weird to think like Peter is so well known for being like the high school kid, but like a lot of his more famous stuff comes when he's in like college and graduates college. What's interesting about the original comics is that you kind of follow Spider-Man, Peter Parker, throughout his, like, pretty much his whole, like, adolescence until he becomes, like, an adult. You start with him as kind of like a snot-nosed 16-year-old. Hi, Sammy! And then it ends with, and then the original run really ends with him married to Mary Jane. Yes. Pontificating on Spider-Man. How's it going, Sammy? Welcome to the stream. Hope everything is going lovely. Love it. You can check the YouTube channel, but I made several videos about Superman. I actually, when I was a kid, I played Superman in a middle school play. I have the video of that. I want to upload it at some point. I haven't read that. That's the new one where he gets powers as an adult, right? Yeah, I want to read that one. I've been, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I got kind of burnt out. Superman is great, by the way. Yes, I've heard it's really good and I need to check it out. I'm going to be honest, I got kind of burnt out with comics a little while back. They had made some decisions that I was very frustrated by, and I was like, fuck this shit, I don't want to read this anymore. But I keep hearing about new series that sound really good, so. Okay, MMT, because you said it, I will make a distinct. I will read them tomorrow. I don't know. I respect that they don't necessarily want to cross over our paths. Batman, but I don't know. Gunn has talked about it before, and he's like, well, we don't want to just bring Batman into it without having like a good take on it. So it's like, and I respect that as an idea. It would be cool. Like, I think there was talks of maybe doing like Damian Wayne, maybe, but I don't. That's all I've heard. Might be cool. Okay. Here's my pitch. This isn't gonna happen, but here's my pitch. Let's do. Man, I have to see the new series. I have to see the new season. I haven't seen it yet. I loved the first season. I thought that was amazing. Can I be a little mean to some other TV shows? Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, oh right, we could have had good superheroes. shows from the beginning. DC shows from the beginning. The fact that we got kind of stuck with. If you liked it, it's good. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. I'm excited for that. The the Lantern TV, Green Lantern show is coming. What else? Okay, here's my pitch for Bat. Here's an obscure thing that's coming out that I'm really excited for. There's a new animated show coming out that's going to be an adaptation of Mr. Miracle and Big Bertha. Which, like, we're getting a full-on adaptation of the new, which is kind of amazing. Because those are two of, I would argue, the most underrated DC characters out there. And the fact that they're finally getting their own show, I'm very excited for. Like, they keep trying to do, like, the new gods, so it's good that we're getting some new gods content. Okay, here's my idea for Batman. Here's a really, like, left field idea. They won't do this, but I'm going to pitch it anyways. What they should do. Here's my pitch. It should be, let's have it be that Batman, let's have it follow the original timeline, kind of. Well, yeah, okay. That Batman was, like, in the 20s. Or, no, if he was in the 20s, he'd be, like, 120 right now. Okay, let's have Batman operate in, like, an earlier time, maybe in the 60s. And the Batman we see in the new DCU is essentially Terry McGinnis, is my pitch. We do Batman Beyond. We do Batman Beyond. And he's, Batman is being, the Batman we see is Terry McGinnis. Under the tutelage of the old Batman. Under the tutelage of Bruce Wayne. Because that would be, because I like Batman Beyond and I would like to see it adapted. Or just get Cassandra Cain in there, because I will always try and get Cassandra Cain and or Stephanie Brown involved in it. I will always argue for that. Yeah. Let's see. I guess Marvel and DC are doing a crossover, a new crossover, which is interesting. Will we finally get the Amalgam universe back on track? Are we going to get Dark Claw? I want to see a Dark Claw movie. Marvel and DC are doing a crossover. That the Batman Daredevil crossover is canon, is still canon. Is the internet dead? What's going on? Did I just lose everybody? What? Did the internet die? Did you guys lose? Did you guys lose me for a sec? Hello? Yeah? Yes, I do. I do like Deadpool and Wolverine. Uh, um, yeah. Sorry, my internet is behaving a little weird. Okay. There we go. Yes, now it works. Okay. Yes, sorry. My internet was behaving. Yeah, anyways, you don't care. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. Um, yes, yeah. Yeah, that was fun. Yes. Hello, hello. I've been good, Zod. I've been good. Yeah, I know who you are. I'm good. We're just hanging. We're hanging. We're streaming in a subtly different place. Look, you get to see a whole different thing. Look at it. It's new. It's because I'm streaming on my phone right now. Because I found it actually gives me better results. What have you been up to these days, We're just talking superheroes. Nah. Oh, well, I've been having trouble with my OBS. It has every time I've tried to use it, it's just like totally disconnected. I can barely it drops like 90% of the frames, and it's just been unusable. So I kind of like threw my hands up and I just started streaming from my phone. And man, you get a lot more responses if you just stream like this. I didn't realize how much more responses I was getting. So I was just like, I'm just gonna do this for a little bit until I can get my internet working correctly. Oh yeah. Well, he's on YouTube. So he's mostly on. He knows about my Twitch, but he's totally blocked on there. So he pops up more on YouTube. But I haven't seen him in a while. Partly because I think he's in school. He's in school right now, and doesn't have time. But yeah, no, I'm good. name sounds familiar, but I'm gonna look it up. Look it up because I'm not 100% certain, but I think I've seen. He's a director, right? Yes. Yeah. I. Damn it! That's what I thought he did, and I should have. I should have said out loud. Yes, he directed the original Stalker, not the. I'm gonna guess significantly less worthwhile remake that that YouTuber dude did. Uh, yeah, he's a wild person. He's a wild person. Yeah, I need. He also did Solaris, which is a game I need to, which is a movie I need to see. Yes. The yeah, I have Ivan's Child. He's one of those guys I need to do like a deep dive into his stuff because I am aware of him, but I don't I haven't really I haven't really gotten very far into his things. Um, yeah. Sorry, I just got distracted. I was a little mixed up with something. So Stalker, no, is based on the book. Is based on the same book that the movie is based on, and that's what I was just curious about. I know like the insane filming history of that, and the fact that he pretty much filmed it in like an active nuclear site, um, which is a choice. Which is a choice. It's a very it's a very very interesting choice. Like, didn't he film it pretty much in actually in Chernobyl, from what I remember, and like that caused a bunch of problems later on. And I know he had to film it twice because it got screwed up. Yeah. Oh, okay. Here it is. Here it is. Uh, let's see. They shot. Okay. The central part of the film, in which the characters travel within the zone, was shot in a few days. It was shot in a few days at two deserted hydropower plants. Yeah. Was shot in a few days at two. Where was I? Shot in 2 days at two. They shot before. Okay. At the old Flora chemical factory. Yeah. Former Tony Power. Apologies to. Yeah. So they shot in former power plants. A small set was built in Moscow, not far away from the Chip 20 thermal power plant for the. Yeah. Several people involved in the film production, possibly Travis himself, died from causes, and some crew members attributed to filming long shooting schedule at toxic locations. Yeah. Have you ever? That's a very similar story to. Have you ever heard of a movie called The Conqueror? Stalker is a significantly better movie. It is most likely a significantly better movie, but it's a very. Do you know what The Conqueror is? It is a famously quite terrible movie, but with one of the most egregious miscastings in human history. Yeah. Famously, okay, people in the chat, you might not be prepared for this. It is a Genghis Khan movie where they cast John Wayne as Genghis Khan. Yeah, it is one of the most egregiously bad miscasts in human history. Anyways, also bad, they filmed it downwind of a nuclear testing site. Like, legitimately, they filmed it downwind of a nuclear testing site. And it is the fact that a high number of different cast and crew members died of cancer is considered statistically unlikely. And they believe it was most likely filming there that caused the problems. Famously, that was a Howard Hughes production. Like the kind of the mad billionaire. The Aviator. That was about that was one of his when he was running RKO. That was one of his things. So all in all, a kind of a love letter to the history of cinema. It was. I've never been able to sit through it totally. It's quite tedious. And Wayne is really take out despite not egregious John Wayne the Conqueror. Yeah. Yeah, it's it's I want to say it's both aggressively racist, and even for how racist it is, it's still a bad performance. That's the way I'm trying to word it. Let's see. I'm curious what this director did. Oh, God. It's always funny to, like... It was Dick Powell who directed it. He's a guy I have no real knowledge of. Seems like he was mostly an actor. How did he end up directing a movie? Second movie. Jesus. Yeah. It's one of these things, it's like, how do you end up doing some of this stuff? Because it's like, It's both. Yeah. Can I get like the Dick Powell thing? Can I be a guy who has no business being in something, directing a movie? Did you ever hear about the Netflix show that the guy kind of scammed? Oh yeah, you always have to. Did you did you hear about that scam that guy? It's sort of a scam, sort of not. What happened was oh okay. Do you okay? Do you remember a Keanu Reeves movie by the name 47 Ronin? One of the most famous flops in Hollywood history. Um, well, Netflix then gave. Okay, yeah. Netflix then gave that director, uh, inexplicably gave that director a couple of $1 million to shoot a sci fi TV show. But it seems that guy had essentially a mental breakdown. And instead of doing that, um, used the money to buy Bitcoin and then started then he actually made money because it was one of those times where Bitcoin went up, and he made a couple million on that, and then he just used it to buy like sports cars and gamble away. Also, he became convinced that the CIA was after him. So essentially, he had filmed the show, then lost it, and then bet it all, then miraculously made money enough that he could theoretically finish the show, but instead he just wanted to gamble and buy like sports cars. Yeah, pretty much. And now it's this whole big lawsuit, and yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I haven't kept up with it. What happened? But I remember that being a big controversy. What? Hey, Fade. How's it going? We're talking movies. How's the band life treating you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, that's fun. Yeah, I was about to say something like that sounds absolutely terrifying to me. I am also incredibly afraid of heights. Um, yeah, that's oh my god, I cannot. Yeah, that sounds terrifying as heck. I have to admit. Um, I'm getting very insecure. I mean, yeah. But you don't have to do things that you're afraid of just to get ahead. That's um. Sure. Yeah. 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 Remember, guys, not to be this person, but if you're hanging out and you want to help me out, hitting like is always appreciated. Anyways, um, so thank you. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's do this. Have you noticed we're in a different spot than usual, Fade? We're in uh, we're in my living room. Notice the greatness of being in the living room. Yes, I get to sit on a comfortable chair with my feet up. And it's also vertical, which actually I've discovered. I'm sure everybody else has figured this out, but you actually get way more views vertically. Oh no, it's the same. It's the same. It's just on. I'm on my phone now, right now, just because my computer is behaving a little weird. What? What? It's moving. Look at this. Look at this. Opening, and what you're used to. Can't we just get like, I always say, we need like wheelie beds. Never have to leave our beds. We can just like we can just like uh drive them like we do in traffic. Yeah. Yeah, a full 306. Yeah. Yeah, I actually live in a whole house. Isn't that shocking? It's terrifying. Exactly. We should just do what like they did in the movie Wall-E. I'm sure I'm reading that correctly. Never get out of your bed. Never get out of your bed and just be there all the time. I'm sure that's what the message of the movie Wall-E was. I'm good. I'm and they say media literacy is down. And they say media literacy is down. I pretty much can read all movies correctly. Yeah. That was a good one. Wall-E is about how we need to burrow deeper and deeper into our technology and never ever engage with the real world. Uh, The Incredibles is about how Bob's family is totally dragging him down and he needs to ditch them and just do the superheroing thing full time. Uh, now I'm trying to think. Finding Nemo. Fish are stupid. All they do is blather, and we should just eat all of them. Ratatouille. Fade. Uh, Try, like, have people even thought of grass? Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, but I that makes me a hypocrite because I am also totally absorbed in my phone. Like Ratatouille is about how only a special few can cook, and it's an elite club, and if you're not part of that, you should just shut up. I think I'm reading these movies correctly. I'm pretty sure that's the message of most of these films. No. Fade. The joke is we're trying to get the exact wrong message from every one of these movies. Um, yeah. Have you noticed that in many ways Ratatouille is kind of like Venom? The movie, The Venom, is essentially Venom from Spider-Man. In that it's about a schlubby, like, it's about a dork who gets overtaken by. Well, yeah, have you noticed that it's essentially a Venom movie in a lot of ways? In that it's about kind of this dorky kid who gets overrun by an alien intelligence who uses his body to do things that the dork could never do. That's a Venom. Well, no. Yeah, Remy isn't an alien, true, but he's an alien intelligence. He's an alien intelligence compared to Luigi. That's a Venom. So, being as. Exactly. And being as both Pixar and Marvel are owned, by Disney, that means logically, they could do a crossover. So, we haven't seen a Ratatouille 2 yet. Ratatouille. Yeah. So, Ratatouille, this time Venom's involved. Deadpool! He's pooling the dead. It's so funny. Do you know that Deadpool started out as essentially a ripoff of another character? If you don't know, now you know. So the story with Deadpool is that yeah. Oh, you do. Have I told the story before? Or have you heard it? Yeah. Okay. So the story is, yes, it is Deathstroke. Was the original character. Okay, so here's what happened. Deadpool's creator is a guy named Rob Liefeld, and Rob Liefeld had written a bunch of these stories for DC, and one of them involved Deathstroke the Terminator. Now, Deathstroke is like a really popular character. Oh, you know him. You know him. You know why you know him? That's Slade from Teen Titans. You know Slade from the Teen Titans animated show? They couldn't use his original name because you're not allowed to say death on kids' TV, so they called him Slade instead. But anyway, so Rob Liefeld, who was writing Teen Titans, had all these scripts that he still wanted to use, so he needed to create a new character. So he created Deathstroke. Not even like the animated show. Have you seen Teen Titans Go? 1 second. Running low on power. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Much better. Yeah, yeah. Good on you. What did you think of The Godfather? One second. Yes. It's running low on power. It's a good movie. It's a very good movie.